Welcome back to Red Devils TV, and in today's video we are talking about Pellistri. Now Pellistri, the young Uruguayan right winger, has never really been given a chance at Manchester United. Now he joined Manchester United back in October 2020, and since then he's never really been given a chance, and even under the Erik ten Hag era. So Pellistri came in when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was our manager after Manchester United failing to sign Jadon Sancho in that summer. We buy Pellistri for €10 million in the October 2020 reported by reporters, and we also went on to sign Amad Diallo in that same time frame. So within this time frame, Manchester United have signed 4 right wingers. We've signed Pellistri for €10 million. We signed Amad Diallo for a reported fee of €25 million, which is with add-ons about €40 million. Jadon Sancho for around nearly €90 million, and Anthony for about €95 million. So when you highlight all of that, have any of them players actually succeeded at Manchester United? For me, you can't say yes, because Jadon Sancho has had his ups and downs. Anthony, I don't know what's happening with him. Amad Diallo just got loaned out, much like Pellistri did. But this video is based around Pellistri. But so many times United fans have called out the Glazers, and we look at teams like Brighton signing players very cheap and making them absolute world beaters. You look at like Caicedo, Basuma, all the players at Brighton pretty much. You look at this new Enciso at Brighton as well. Very good upcoming players. But with Manchester United, for once, we actually signed a young player with a lot of potential for a decent price, which was €10 million. But it seems that Manchester United now, all we have to do is sign star players. And that's where I think we're failing as a football club, because we're signing players for such high fees, they're coming in with such high expectations, and we're not actually going for these players that can become world beaters. Pellistri, for me, looks like one of our best players coming off the bench, and he needs to be given a chance. The way he's got low centre of gravity, you know what? To highlight it all, he reminds me of a Pep Guardiola player. He reminds me of a Pep Guardiola player that will suit his system perfectly. Direct, running in at defenders, very skillful, ambitious, like hungry. This is what I like from Pellistri. And he's been here for quite a few years now. And when United first signed him, in the January, when the January transfer window opened in 2021, we loaned him out to the Spanish side, Alvarez, I think they're called. And with Alvarez, he went on for the rest of the season for that, and he came back to Manchester United in June 2021. But then the following season, before Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got sacked, Pellistri then went back onto that team and did a full season loan, and then Erik ten Hag came in last season, and Pellistri had a few cameos for Erik ten Hag. But Pellistri again is never really been given a chance, and I don't really understand why. Because there are a lot of players ahead of him in the pecking order, like Anthony, Sancho, and even Garnacho now, and Rashford. So Pellistri's never really going to get a foot in. But this is exactly why we sold Anthony Langer to Nottingham Forest. And I'm scared that this is going to happen again with Pellistri, because I really like Pellistri. I think he's a very good upcoming player. He is 22 in December, by the way, so he's not as young as he once was. But I believe that this loan deal could either spark something in him where he does become a Manchester United player. But I also think we could be making a mistake here, because for me, Pellistri, when he comes off the bench, things happen. He looks very direct. He looks like he wants to make things happen. He looks like he wants to be a game changer. And he has that mentality where he wants to score goals. He wants to create goals. And that's the brilliant part of Pellistri about what makes him different to our other wingers. He's unselfish. He will create. He will pass and move. He's very good in this quick passing system, which is what Manchester United are trying to do with his new attacking formation in the 3-1-6 formation. But I mentioned before about Manchester United signing these players for low fees and getting them into the club and being squad players or just revolutionising Manchester United. And we failed at doing that for so many years now, because you think back to the high players we've brought in, like Paul Pogba, Anthony, Sancho, Lukaku. All these players, and even more, even players we've brought in throughout the years, haven't had impact. And this is why I play like Amrabat. Obviously, I know it's completely off topic, but Amrabat is one of them players. You can get him for around €30 million, which is about £26 million. Sign him. Because Manchester United's midfield right now, at the current time of recording, we won against Wolves unconvincingly, and we've just got battered in the second half by Spurs, and we've lost 2-0. So Man United right now are 3 points in the Premier League table. But right now, our midfield looks like an absolute disgrace, and Amrabat would definitely solve that. And I think the same with our right wing in position. Antony is too selfish. He's not consistent enough. Sancho, I want to give him a chance. But where's Pellistri in all this? There's too many players in the pecking order. And Ralph Rangnick was absolutely correct. At the time when he turned around and said this team needs open heart surgery, we need lots of new players in, he was absolutely spot on. And it's come to bite us in the backside because since Erik ten Hag's come in, he's brought in some players that, for me, aren't our future, Eriksen being one of them. So, and there's going to be other signings that happens. Obviously, not every signing is going to succeed. But I do believe that with Pellistri, we will be making a mistake if we do loan him out to Sheffield United. Because I think that under Erik ten Hag, you've seen what's happened with Rashford, Garnacho, Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka. These players that have increased their performances in quality and consistency under Erik ten Hag's regime as our coach. But with Sheffield United, he'll be getting the consistent game time. And that's the issue here. Do you want him going out on loan where he's getting consistent game time? Yes, because he's getting that development. But then he's not being managed under Erik ten Hag, our manager who wants him to have a future. Now, with Pellistri, obviously, we've recently had the Mason Greenwood situation as well. Now he's now being get rid of from the club. But Pellistri, I am nervous for, because I do believe that this will probably be his last season. And if he does go out on loan to Sheffield United and absolutely tears it up, then you can guarantee you he will be in the same position he is when he comes back. He will be behind Antony, he'll be behind Sancho. So I really don't know what the future is for Pellistri. And I just know that if we was to sell him, he would be picked up by a decent side, and the rest is history, because I do believe that he's a very good upcoming player. He would be absolutely brilliant in a Man City side, in my opinion, as an upcoming winger. So, yeah, I do believe that Pellistri is a very decent talent, and he definitely deserves more game time for Manchester United. But again, Pellistri hasn't been given opportunities. He doesn't rack up many goals and assists, but neither do any of our current wingers. We've currently scored 1 goal in our last 2 games in the Premier League. Pre-season wasn't very convincing. Pellistri stood out in a few of them pre-season games. And so did a few of our youth players. I mean, Daniel Gore, Kobe Mainoo. I know Kobe Mainoo's injured, but Daniel Gore, perfect example. He had a very decent pre-season where he's not even been in the team in the Premier League. He's not even been on the bench. So pre-season for me for Manchester United was just a waste of time. We didn't learn anything. We didn't really change anything. We still look like the same team of last season, but we've got a bigger issue now, which is the hole in the midfield, because we've sold Fred. I never thought I'd say that, because with Fred, very decent player, in my opinion, very decent squad player. And I would seriously consider, if we don't sign Amrabat before Saturday, I mean, before we play Nottingham Forest, we won't even sign him by then, because I know what my football club's like. I would consider playing Scott McTominay, that physicality, that actual box-to-box midfielder. Whether what you think about Scott McTominay or not, he brings more balance, and that's what you've got to decide in the day. And I think Erik ten Hag needs to make a decision. But with regards to Pellistri's future, I can't say what's going to uphold, but right now, as it stands, Sheffield United and Manchester United are in talks of a season loan deal for Pellistri. I don't really know too much about Sheffield United's team. I know that they're currently selling majority of their best players, which makes no sense after getting promoted to the Championship. So it's like they're automatically trying to relegate themselves. But I believe Pellistri will probably go in there and probably be a regular starter for them. And I hope that if the loan deal does go through, then he has a very decent and successful loan spell, because I really like Pellistri and I believe that he can be a very good player for us. But it only falls down to what Erik ten Hag's future and Pellistri's future at Manchester United is, because Erik ten Hag will definitely have sat him down and probably said, look, you're not getting more than 10 games in this season unless there's an injury crisis. If I was you, I'd take the loan spell, learn your trade. You're in the Premier League, which is probably the only positive you could take away from this loan spell. I don't want Pellistri to leave out on loan, because I want him to learn under Erik ten Hag. But at the end of the day, he's going out there, he'll be playing consistent football, whether it's cameos off the bench or whether it's starting, he will definitely play majority of the games, and that goes from around the 8 to 10 games he'd play all season long to maybe 25 games throughout the season, maybe 30 for Sheffield United. So I believe that Pellistri would definitely be able to improve as a player, but we saw what happened with Amad Diallo at Rangers. Didn't have a loan spell, load of fans were on his back, and his value, you could say, depleted. And then obviously he went out on loan to Sunderland in the Championship, and then he's now apparently going to be a decent squad player for Manchester United. I'm still not convinced about Amad Diallo. I would much rather have Pellistri in my United squad than Amad Diallo, but that's just my opinion. But anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one.